Eric, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So, what was your first introduction to therapy like?
Um, my first introduction to therapy
Like, what did you
was
expect?
had me extremely nervous, I must say. Because I didn't know what to expect, and then it's just the idea of talking to a stranger, and being able to be able to be willing to open up. It was definitely nerve wracking. My anxiety was definitely high for my introduction, but it ended up being great.
Okay, wonderful. Um, how did you know, especially as a Black man, that you needed to see a therapist? Like, walk me through that process of that moment in your life where you're like, you know what, I think it's time.
Um, I've realized it was an event that happened with a family member. And I realized it was something that happened a long time ago, but then I realized I lashed out, and then it hit me at the moment like, man, that was a long time ago. This still bothers me when I thought it didn't.
Yeah.
And once I let everything out, and then it was a lot of emotion, and then I had some time to calm and sit and think about it and breathe, and then I was kind of like, wow, okay, I'm not over this. I'm not okay. I thought I had it handled, but I don't. And I had to be honest with myself. And that's the first step, is to really look yourself in the mirror
Yeah.
and just to admit that I'm not okay. There's still things that's holding dear to my spirit, and I need to fix it, but I need help.
Okay. Yeah, we say that a lot. The first step is to acknowledge that there's a problem, right? Because without that ingredient, you're not even going to work on anything because you don't think there's anything wrong.
Right.
So, what made you think of all the options you had out there for getting help? What made you think, oh, maybe it's time to see a therapist? Because you could have gone to church, right? You could have talked to a friend. Why a therapist?
Um, I could have went to church, but spiritually, it is. I mean, definitely it's always great, but it's something deeper. Like, as far as the conversation, you can talk to friends, you can talk to family, but because of how people feel about you,
Hmm.
they can tend to give you biased feedback.
Wow.
Going to a therapist, it's not biased. You have someone who's going to give you their, help you along without being biased, and to really be able to give you that feedback that you need to hear, or something that's going to help you. And it's great to seek a professional, because a professional can definitely know, if they can hear what you're saying, understand what you're saying, and being able to help you along and help guide you through your thoughts. Versus talking to someone, they can listen. And I've realized this in my past. You
Hmm.
can talk to someone that you're familiar with. They either can listen, but then it's like, did anything get resolved?
Right.
It's one thing to vent, but you can talk to someone, but it's like, if nothing really got resolved, but I still got these problems I'm dealing with it, they don't know how to do it. And
They don't
or
know how,
also,
they don't know how to help you fix it.
right. And then you also have people who, because they care deeply for you, they, like I said, going back to being biased, they can, may not give you the best advice.
Or they may not be as honest
Not gonna be as honest, and
as
or they how you feel can trigger how they feel, and then they will uh encourage you to do what they feel, and then it's not good.
right.
And it's best to talk to someone who's able to be calm and have a cool head, and be able to give me great advice, and guide me in the right direction. And if only a professional can do that.
Well, I tell you, that's pretty insightful, that you had that thought process, even though you never had therapy prior to that, because that is the advantage of a professional, is that we have the training, we have, you know, hopefully the objectivity to be neutral about it and to really help you get results and help you reach your goals.
Yes.
right?
Indeed. Yes.
Did you run into any problems, Eric, when you were trying to find a therapist?
Um, yeah, I did. I have. I've run into maybe two problems. The issue, one thing I've learned about my journey with seeking therapy, is the first problem was the comfort.
Mm-hmm.
You know, someone told me that to think about finding a therapist, you want to make sure, it's one thing to find a therapist, but it has to be the right therapist. It has to be someone that you're comfortable with, and that's important.
Yes, that is
I
number
had
one.
Yeah, that was my main issue, is finding comfort with someone. And this, we all get a vibe, after conversing with someone and just being able to get a feel for them, man. And if it doesn't feel right, it just doesn't feel right, and it's important for people when they do seek therapy is to find that right connection when you're trying to find a great therapist for you to help you along with your issues. Comfort is everything, you know. If
Right.
you're not comfortable, you're not going to be able to fully get the full benefit of a therapist because you're not comfortable. And the key is you have to be comfortable so you can be able to talk properly and talk and release a lot of your issues.
Yes, yes. It only really works in an environment of trust and safety and
Yeah,
comfort, and I always tell people, like, don't feel bad if it's not the right fit,
right. Yeah,
keep
yeah,
keep keep looking for the right fit.
yes, and yeah, definitely indeed. And I can always encourage them. I was like, look, just it took me three tries. The first one I didn't feel it. The second one was okay, but you just know.
Yeah,
It just
yeah,
that's just like if when you confide in certain people, and certain people that you confide in, not everyone. Just like it is with therapists, it can't be everyone. You just got
right.
to find the right one for you, and that's
Yes,
the important part.
yeah. What was it like for you to share personal aspects of your life with essentially a stranger?
Mm. Um, it wasn't easy. I'm not gonna lie, because now it's like, okay, just someone who I've never met before, someone I've never had a conversation with. Now I'm like, okay. Um, it took a little bit of time,
Yeah.
for me to, like I said, just to feel the comfort. Once I got the comfort, I was able to start small
Mm-hmm.
and to really just go dive deeper into the conversation as time went on, and be able to open up a lot more, you
Yeah.
know. Um, and then once you're able to open up, like gradually open up, and then the more you gradually open up, the better the comfort level is at the all time like high, and that's what you want, and it took me a while. I'm not gonna lie, it did.
No, I think it's great to be honest about that so that
Yeah,
people understand that this is a process.
it is. It's a great process, but I'm glad I did it. I fought through it. And you got to fight with yourself a little bit just to kind of open up. Once
Yeah.
you open up, man, it's all about finding someone you're comfortable with. Once you open up, man, and the feeling you get after a good session, you feel like a release of everything you've been holding on to. And then the more you go, just release, more release. You
Yes.
feel like you just unbagging and just
Feels so
finally,
good, right?
Yeah,
Especially when
absolutely.
you have those aha moments, right? The
Yeah,
epiphany of like, oh man, I didn't know like that was all connected to this, you know?
yeah,
And it brings us so much joy when that happens. It literally, like, I feel like, doing a happy dance in session when that happens. So have you experienced that?
yeah,
Like
I have.
making those connections, in therapy?
Yeah, especially those aha moments. So you kind of like, wow, you know what? Wow. And they have you, thinking and dwelling on that thought, and just then afterwards, it has you thinking the whole day, like, wow, you know
Uh-huh.
what? Maybe I should try that. Maybe I should. What she said, like, makes sense. Like, wow. And then, something to get you, to open up your thought process to a lot of things that you haven't really crossed, that never crossed your mind.
You haven't considered before. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But then it's that one of those things. It's kind of like you like, well, you know what? I got new information about myself. I learned so much about myself, and then you're just more so anxious to grow now. You know, just like, oh, I'm glad I got that word. I'm glad I was able to get that type of information, and it's something to think about. You're like, I want to be better. It just push you like, yeah, I can do this. I can do that. You know?
Oh man, this is so awesome. You're doing
Yeah.
such a great service for your community.
Oh
Y-
yeah, yeah.
You know, your community is so lucky to have someone like you, an advocate, the real deal. Tell me what made you, not what made you, but what led to that decision to advocate for mental health and to normalize, right? Talking to a therapist, that's what you're trying to do, to your community, in your community.
Well, just generally, I've been cutting hair for quite a while now, and just being able to converse with different people of different personalities, different people from different background, and honestly, like just to know, like I know what I've been through. I know what how therapy has helped me,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, it's a lot of people that are in probably way worse situations than I am mentally. You
Yes.
know, and and then they have to live their everyday lives to 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 get through a lot of things, and just being able to just be open. Like, what? Why are we hiding this? Why aren't we not talking about this?
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk. Let's talk. So I just opened it. I just opened it up. Just to just like, hey man, it's okay. And I've done it. This what it is did for me.
Mm-hmm.
And for people to be to kind of be like, oh, I don't, because everybody has a stigma about
Right.
it, and for them to hear someone a man, a black man speak about it, and it's
Yeah.
like, oh, and
And make
then
it sound okay, right? Like it's okay.
yeah, and I tell them it's okay. Like I don't try to like really like just push it. This stuff is like just push it on them, but I just let them know like, look, I've done it. This is what it does for me. This is how I feel. This is where I am today. I'm better, man. The person I was 6 years ago, man. Like it's two totally different people, and they just like, man, they excited. Like, wow, for real? What happened? Hmm. Now, maybe I can look into that. Like, see what's going on with that. Like, that seemed cool, and I'm still growing. I'm still a work in progress. I let them know
Oh, we all are, you know?
still
Mm-hmm.
unbagging. So, but once you like that with them, you open and you transparent with them about it. You like spots with therapy, you build a comfort level. You're like, I feel you. Now we on common ground. Maybe I should look into it. How do I look into it? What do I do? Where do I go?
Mm-hmm.
And
And that's,
I
yeah,
just take them, I just put them in the right direction.
yeah.
And it's been great.
Yeah, well, I'm telling you, like it's 2020 and we're still trying to destigmatize, right, mental health and trying to, normalize going to a therapist or seeking a psychiatrist if you need medication, whereas it's not like that for medical issues, right? There's no shame going to a doctor if your, stomach hurts or if you need medication for your diabetes. But for mental health, we're still trying to destigmatize this whole thing, and things you're doing is really helping the cause. So that's what we need. The mental health community needs people like you to help us promote this cause, because we already know that it's okay to talk to us, right? But we need the word out there from people like you who've actually done it and had positive results to kind of continue to promote the cause. So
Right. Absolutely. And that's what I want to do, because once we're able to start healing,
yeah.
like the world is not perfect, people are not perfect, but once we start to heal from a lot of our trauma,
Mm-hmm.
we will be better people. People will feel better, people will love better, people will love themselves better, people will make better decisions.
Yes.
I just feel like it'll bring more of peace into your life,
Oh gosh,
within
yes.
yourself,
Yeah.
you know
And that's really the best way to impact the world, right? Is
Yeah.
do the work to heal and help yourself, because then everybody you come into contact with is positively impacted by you,
Hmm.
right?
Yes,
Do
indeed.
no harm, basically, you
You're right.
know? Yeah.
Yeah. And
So,
I just kind of tell people, I let them know, like, look, don't put too much pressure on yourself. That's what
mhm.
I used to do. That I used to put a lot of pressure on myself, and at times I still do it every now and then, but I always gonna look back at myself like, hey, no, you come too far. Keep pushing through. Don't do that. Just nobody's perfect. Don't
Yeah.
put too much pressure. Nobody on this earth is perfect. Just it's all about basically just helping yourself if you can, and
Yeah.
just being true to yourself and just focus on healing. It's a work in progress, little by little.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. One step at a
Yeah.
time.
Yes.
What do, what do you think is one of the best things you've learned about yourself through the process of therapy?
Mm. Um. One thing I've learned about myself through therapy is I'm stronger than what I thought I was. You know. I at times I thought in certain areas I'm like, oh man, I'm weak, and oh, I'm weak in this area, I'm weak in that area. But after going to therapy and just seeing, and I learned more about understanding
What do you
that.
mean?
What I mean by understanding is as far as understanding the whole situation, what causes things from trauma from the past, and
Yes.
understanding the people that was involved with the trauma,
Yep.
understanding why did they bring that energy into my life.
Yeah.
It could be, and this could be multiple people. Understanding those people, and understanding why, and then also I had to learn that also hurt people. You
Amen.
know,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and I had to wrap my head around that. And even with far as for myself, I've I'm I've hurt people,
Right.
and but I also had to ask why, what did I do?
Mm-hmm.
Then I had to understand that, and once I understood that, and I was like, okay, this is what I can do to prevent it and correct it. And then also going back to those people in my life that gave me the same energy and just was able to forgive.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Very hard, just very hard thing to do.
Right.
And in order for me to forgive, I had to understand, do research, and understand who they are,
Yep.
and and just be able to forgive them for you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the things that was definitely one of the pivotal parts of therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well said. Well said. Yes, because what we help people with is we help you understand the entire movie, not just that scene, right? Or
Right.
selected scenes of your life. And so you can start to make connections, you know,
Yes.
and understand the context in which things were happening. So it makes me so happy to hear that sounds like you've done a lot of really good work. So,
Oh well, thank you. I mean, like I said, it's still so much work to do,
mhm.
and why keep it all to myself? Where there's people who probably have it way worse, probably don't even have this dealing with the same things I dealt with,
Right.
and they just trying to find answers. They don't
Yeah.
know who to talk to. They don't know. They're back against the wall. They just dealing with this, and then you dealing with everyday life on
Right.
top of it. So I just want to reach out to people and let them know, man. Like, look, it's like it's a. I didn't like the feeling. I
Mhm.
didn't like the feeling who I was, and if I don't like it, then I'm like, I can only imagine what other people are going through,
Yeah. And
and with
that's
way worse situations. So it's like, if I don't like it, and I was able to change that, I'm like, why not pass that on? And let people know it's good, man. Just what we can do.
mm-hmm.
You can change. You don't have to deal with this anymore.
There. Oops. No problem. And the truth is, like we all want the same things at the end of the day. We all want to feel loved, accepted. We all want validation. We all want to know we matter, right? And we all want to feel at peace and, happiness.
Yes.
Happiness isn't like this constant state, like you're just happy all the time, right? It's not like that. But, I imagine you feel a lot more empowered and confident and kind of in control of the anxiety.
Yeah, it's that feeling that you get when you wake up, and then it's just like you sit up in the bed, and then it's just you feel refreshed. You don't feel your mind and your spirit don't feel heavy.
Yeah.
Me, like I said, I put on great music and just vibe, and I just get up every day, and I just and I'm just grateful to still be here, especially in this pandemic.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so it's just been like, it's all about it's you choosing to be happy at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm. That
You
it can
know?
be a choice. Yeah. And
Yeah.
that resiliency, can be harnessed, right? Like you can build that kind of staying power within you if you have the right support and if you're working on healing some of these, wounds that is usually the reason why people feel so heavy and burdened.
Yes. And and that's why, especially, with everything's going on, man, like so many people who've been suffering through so many things and still battling. And then some people have children now. Then they
Oh, yeah.
feel to that. And then, that type of energy can be passed on,
Oh,
through
100%.
generations. I just, me and a few other folks, we just want to basically just, you know, we want to end that. We don't want to keep passing
Break the
that on.
cycle. Break the
Yeah, you have to
cycle.
break that. Like, we don't want to keep doing that. It's draining, and it
Mhm.
causes all types of depression, and it's dwelling, and you just don't have answers. That's why I encourage people, just go to therapy, give it a shot. And
Yeah,
I tell them, just give it a shot and let it, and just be willing though. Before you go, you have to be willing
yeah.
to open up
And you
first.
have to feel sufficiently bad enough, right? Like to seek help, meaning everybody has their own limit as to when they feel like they've really had enough and they need a third party professional to help them because that's different for everyone. But I do believe if we normalize it a little more, right? If we do a lot of education, that people don't have to wait until further along their pain cycle, that if we start educating kids, say in school, then we could start the intervention earlier on in that person's life, and they can learn some skills and tools and get support earlier on in their life so that they don't have to keep continuing, right, the cycle that maybe their family had before them.
Yeah. And one thing I've come to realize too, what also affects us with that is from a lot of things. It depends on the trauma. A lot of things that happen within our families, we're told not to talk about it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So when you're told not to, we don't speak about that. We don't talk about that. Yeah,
Right.
that happened, but don't talk about
Yeah. I imagine in the African American culture, is that pretty much generally the message? Because in Asian cultures, it's that way too, generally.
it. I think it's with I would say yes, but I also think now, because of so much that's going on, and you could just tell by how people, the energy of different people. I think it's with a lot of families. Actually, it's just some stuff is so traumatic. Some it's
There's a
just like
lot of
things like,
secrecy.
yeah, a lot of secrecy, man. A lot of people have gone through so much stuff, man.
Yeah.
And that deals with family members.
Right.
And and revisiting it, it's not an easy pill to swallow. And
Right.
a
Right.
lot of people don't they become in denial about it. They don't want to talk about it. They try to shut it out. And and they're like, oh, I get over I get over it. It's okay. I get over it. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Mm-hmm.
I'll deal with it. And that affects people in the long run. And a lot of people don't realize it
Yeah.
until like later on. And it's people, honestly, that's at old age and still dealing with stuff from
Oh, yeah.
way all the way up to now. And then that causes depression. It causes anxiety.
It
You
causes a
know,
lot of medical problems too.
Oh yeah, serious. Like, and then because with everything, depression, all that, that affects your physical
Mm-hmm.
in a way, especially if you're just dealing with all this stuff, man. Then you stress and oh man,
Yeah, it's just a cycle that keeps on going, And like people sometimes think, Eric, like time heals all wounds, that saying, right? It doesn't.
nah,
The
nah,
truth
nah.
is it doesn't, especially with a lot of trauma. Time doesn't heal all wounds. The past is still present oftentimes. So therapy is usually one of the few things that can actually help you get over that stuff.
Yeah, but people have to change the stigma about therapy. So it's because
Yeah.
it's unheard of, for people to go to therapy. They're like, well, but it's just it's time to break that now. And I think it's in this particular couple of years, it's becoming more acceptable now, and more people are curious,
Yes.
and way more open because somewhere down the line, someone knows like, man, this is not normal for me to feel this way.
Yeah. Yeah.
How can I go about it? I need to seek professionals. But that's why I say I if I can do my part, I would love to just encourage people to heal. Even kids like teens and
Oh
you
my
know
gracious.
people who deal with so much trauma, people who don't even want to go home, depending on their household,
I know.
uh, friends, so much trauma from bad decisions.
Yep.
It's so much. The list goes on.
Oh yeah.
But,
You know,
yeah.
yeah. From abuse, from neglect, especially the kids, right? It's
hmm
not it's not their fault. And
Verbal abuse, physical abuse.
mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
it's across the whole nation, and but nobody talks about it, and that's where the problem comes in. And
Yeah.
then they have to grow,
Mm-hmm.
and it affects relationships. It
Oh, it
affects
affects
marriages.
everything.
Yeah, it affects relationships with all your family members, your friends. If you have an issue, you become defensive. Because you're protecting yourself
Right.
so much, and I can understand that, and that's the thing with me. I more so like I guard myself. Like, all right, cool. I have to protect myself from anything happening, and I can't allow that to happen. But it was affecting me in all the bad, like in a bad way, and
Yeah.
I have to fix that, because it's going to affect me because I didn't want to go like have these issues, you
Right.
know, later on in life. It just especially when you're trying to raise a healthy family, you know.
Right. Right. And your world gets pretty small and limited, when you're too busy protecting yourself, right? You're not going to take a whole lot of risks
Exhausting.
emotionally, yeah, relationship wise, business wise, if you're always feeling unstable within yourself or insecure about yourself,
hmm
you know?
Yeah, it's very exhausting,
Mm.
and I know like if I'm exhausted, I can only imagine how how many people are exhausted, especially men, because
Mm.
we don't talk.
Right. Right.
We pen so much in, and then we have to be the man. We have to go out. We have to work. We have to try to make things happen. We got to try to
You got to be the
accomplish a
rock.
lot of things. But then we don't verbally talk.
Mhm. Mhm.
And it's some guys I've talked to. They just like, but it's important not to push the issue, but
Right.
just but once you constantly open up about yourself and you become a testimony,
Yep.
for yourself. A lot of people, after a while, you might catch people on a good day. They might be like, hey, I, you know what, man?
He's all right.
You always saying this. You always talking about this, man. Is it that? And then now you become curious. Is it that? Does it help you that much? I'm like, yes, it does.
Yeah.
You know,
And
just give it a shot when you're
walking
ready.
the talk, right? Like that's the best advertisement is like your life and how you move through the world. That's
Yeah,
an
right, right.
inspiration, for men if they see like, oh, Eric's really like handling life, and maybe I should talk to a therapist.
Yeah. Even doing it, a lot of people, uh, they say that a lot now because of the state we're in, as far as like the world and pandemic that we're in, and
Yeah.
and I I choose to wake up with a smile and to be happy.
Yes.
Um,
Amen.
Unfortunately, man, this is a dark time.
Mm-hmm.
We see a lot of people falling, family members, people losing a lot of people,
Oh, I
people,
can imagine.
you know, it's just really unfortunate, man. And we live in a world where it's causing our anxiety to go to a whole nother level
Oh,
because now
yeah.
when you hear about people and people that you know, people that you're friends with, your family members, your anxiety get high, and mine did as well because my mom had
Yeah.
corona, and
COVID-19. Yeah.
yeah, she had COVID-19, and I'm not gonna lie to you,
Yeah.
I got extremely nervous, but I was positive because I chose to be. I gave her that same energy. I was there to do all the runs for her while she did her quarantine for 14 days, and I did all the runs. I talked to her, make sure she was good, and I helped her do it. And she's
Yeah.
doing 100% now. So
That is
and,
so wonderful.
oh yeah,
So
yeah,
wonderful. And
yeah,
feeling anxious about it is normal. This is your mother and it's COVID-19. So that's a normal reaction. Do you feel that therapy has helped you cope with all of this?
yes, indeed. Like honestly, if I didn't go to therapy, if I never did, with everything that's going on now, I don't know.
Where
I
you be at
really
mentally?
don't know where I would be. I'll be honest with you. Like
Yeah.
therapy taught me to not Im- immediately go to the negative.
Yeah.
Like naturally you do that, but
Yeah.
it taught me to look at the positive out of the situation, and how can I flip this, and with, like I said, with everything going on with that took place with my mom, I was able to talk to her more and to be able to converse, and it made us closer, even more closer,
Mhm.
and
That's
to be able
beautiful.
to really appreciate life and the people that are in it. You
Right.
know, I appreciate her even more, and just it's unfortunate, it's we in a position, we in a state where it puts us into that thought process, and that's how we should be. But as humans, we tend to lose sight of that. But
Yeah.
it made me a lot closer. It made me more appreciative. It made me more appreciative for my life. It made me more
Yes.
appreciative for everybody around me.
Yeah.
And you know, I chose, and it made me want to be more healthier. Made me want to to keep pushing through all of this, and just be like, I'm going to be okay.
Mhm.
And not letting depression or anxiety get the best of me. I'll
Yeah.
have to learn to adapt than anything.
And to kind of slow your thoughts, right? Slow the what we call catastrophic thinking, like always thinking the worst, jumping to the
Yeah,
next worst scenario. That's what, therapy can help with too, is just, okay, let me just take a breath,
step back.
slow it down. Yeah. Watch
Yeah,
my thoughts and realize that I have other options,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
It's a way. It's just in therapy taught me that. Taught me to just to kind of look at things another way, not just one way.
Yeah.
It's, there's other ways you can do things.
Yes.
So find a way to do it. Just try this way. At least give it a shot.
Yeah, yeah. How has the pandemic and the shelter in place regulations impacted you personally and your business?
Man, it's been an interesting roller coaster these past couple of months.
Hmm.
Um, it's definitely impacted because with my profession, I deal with the public. I see people on a regular. You converse. And just
And
it
you have to
affected.
stand close to them.
Yeah, it had to be really close, you know and it impacted it so much because because of everything that's going on. We was forced to shut down
Hmm. Hmm.
completely and just stop all the operation. And and you know, at the beginning, I just you be just like everybody else. We don't know what's going on. Things just
Yeah,
happening.
Yeah.
and then you're just sitting and you waiting, and then your anxiety started to build up. Like, okay, I
Yeah.
gotta start planning. All right, what happens next? Then it's the unknown because we don't know.
Yep. Yep.
That causes the anxiety. Now you like, oh, get nervous. But then for a lot of people, it's depression because now you're losing money.
Right.
You can't pay your bills.
Right.
Um, you can't take care of the things that you can, and then people are afraid to. All right, how this going to affect us, man? Like as far as everything is on the up and up, and then now everything's starting to take a downfall as time goes on. It's something to really worry about. This is I think I speak for most barbers and
Oh,
stylists.
yeah.
You
And for
know,
a lot of
not even just barbers and stylists. Anybody who are small business
self-employed.
owners,
Yeah.
self-employed, small businesses. Like I can only imagine the amount of anxiety,
Yep.
stress,
Mm-hmm.
and depression that we had to battle.
Oh, yes. And it's
It's
not over, unfortunately.
yeah, you
There's
know.
there's
And
so much.
honestly, as time went on, I learned to adapt. I had to look at the big picture and adapt to everything, and also just understand where we are now, and understand that this is the new norm, and we have to learn to adapt and operate in the new norm, so we can keep ourselves safe.
What was that turning point for you like, Eric? Like from that moment of like, oh no, what am I gonna do to turning it around and deciding, okay, I'm gonna need to adapt.
Um, I had a moment where I was sitting home because there was a lot of things happening to people around me, and and just constantly hearing the news, and just hearing about so many people is not making it through it, and it's affected so many people. Then, like I said, the whole thing with my mom,
Mm-hmm.
some close things happened to like a close friend and their family, and and then I had to really sit and just really think like, okay, what can I do to maneuver through all of this? And I had to get educated. I had to understand COVID-19. I had to understand how it worked.
Amazing.
I had to understand what it does to the body, how it affects the body, and what measures can I take to protect not only myself but the people around me.
Mm-hmm.
And even in my first, like I spent like a lot of my time just really understanding and studying this, because this is going to be here for a little bit now. So
Mm-hmm.
you have to learn it. You have to learn the atmosphere that you're in. And then
Yeah.
once I did that, I was able to, you know, fortunately, I was able to service essential workers.
Mm-hmm.
So with that though, I had to change business. I had to reroute business. Now we can't just take people like we were. I
Yeah.
had to set boundaries as far as like I had to start by taking one person by the hour.
Yeah,
Be
the
able
the
to
whole game had to change, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But I learned to, like I said, I wear gloves, wear masks, make sure my clients wear gloves and masks before coming to the door. I wipe down everything in my studio,
Yeah.
seats. I make them wash their hands. I keep sanitizer around. I keep my environment clean. I also bought a air purifier to
Good.
catch, to keep the atmosphere fresh. But then also just being able to operate, which I'm definitely grateful for. But just
Mhm.
it pushes us to basically maneuver our business a certain way now. Now we have to be extremely clean,
Yeah.
which we supposed to be anyway. But it pushes us to be
Even
like
more so.
even more so. Absolutely,
Take
it's
it to
like
the
we have
next
to,
level. Yeah.
yeah. And I had to make sure that people feel safe.
Right.
you
Right.
know, and I have to make sure I'm safe and make sure people feel safe. I make them watch me write down everything
Yeah.
to let them know with this, I'm protecting not only myself, I'm protecting you as well.
Yeah.
But once I was able to do that, everything is starting to get on up and up, and then we was able to service the essential workers, um, and that's better than nothing,
Right.
and uh, but it's definitely been a journey, My anxiety was up and down.
Oh,
It's
I
just
can
roller coaster.
imagine.
I had a slight moment of depression, but then I'm like, no, I'm not going to allow this to do this. I've worked too hard on myself to get here. Just have to look at the atmosphere, study it, understand it, and adapt.
I love that.
Simple as that.
I love that because really a lot of, one of the best things we can do for ourselves is to focus on what we can control, right? And that's exactly what you did. You ask yourself, where is my sense of personal power? Where's my sense of agency in this situation? And
Hmm.
that's what I'm going to focus on. And I'm
Yeah.
going to study and understand the enemy,
Yes.
right?
Indeed. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
learn
And
how to
just
maneuver.
yeah, and just it's very scary. This is just very weird times that everybody is going through right now.
Yeah,
And that's why, like, we don't know. Like I said, it's the unknown. We don't know how long it's going to last.
right.
But I had to prepare. While I was being a small business owner, I
Yes.
have to prepare for what can be or what's going to be the norm. And I just have to. I'm just grateful enough to be able to be in a position where I'm able to stay afloat. And also basically, just have to be and practice being safe. And just
Yeah.
make sure everyone is safe and clean. And
Right.
that's what we have to do. And I'm just grateful to be able to be in that position.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you say was one of your lowest points during this pandemic?
Ah, my lowest points. Um,
What do you want?
when a barber passed away from COVID-19.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it made the news. And of course, a lot of people who know me, they know what I do. I was getting text messages, all type of inbox on social media. Everybody's just like, "Oh man, be careful, man. Don't do this, don't do that." And then it's just kind of like, wow, And then just after the and then that forcing you to be home behind your walls, and you just really thinking, it's just like, man, what am I gonna do
Yeah. Is this
if
it?
this goes for the long haul?
Yeah.
Like for the long, long haul. Like, what am I gonna do? What can I do? Uh, which also allowed me to become creative.
Yeah.
Um, you know, like I went through that dark moment of just like, I'm worried. My anxiety is high. Oh man, everything I work for is everything I work for is about to be over. Like, I can't believe this. But
Mhm.
then, you know, I turned a negative into a positive, and then I, created my online digital class to help other people who are in the house.
That's exciting.
Yeah, to show them how to cut their hair, and how to maintain,
Yes.
and to
Yes.
be able to, to help people out, and use my skill
To
to
empower
help
them.
them. Yeah, and empower them and let them know, man, hey, we here with you.
That's so
So
awesome. That's so
yeah,
awesome. Yeah. I always believe, like a crisis can create a lot of innovation and creativity. If you can hone or focus your energy, right? If you don't let anxiety and depression take over the bus of your
yeah,
life, there's a lot of opportunities that can arise out of a crisis like this. So
yeah.
yeah,
And
definitely.
and another great thing, it what also helped me with my anxiety and depression is, as you saw on my social media, I took the time to enjoy the weather.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
I had to realize, like, what at what point in my life, I was at peace, and I
Yes.
was enjoying, and I had to really go back to that, because when you become an adult, you tend to lose sight of
Forget
that.
about those
Then
things, the little things.
I chose to getting back in touch with my childhood,
Yep.
and I was like, you know what? When the last time I rode a bike?
I love it.
When, and it's been great weather, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get on my bike. I'm
Mm.
gonna go. I'm gonna go hike. I'm gonna go hit a few trails
Right.
and listen to great music.
Mm.
Music. I'm a big I'm big on music. Music
Oh yeah,
basically
me too.
alters your mood
Oh
anytime.
yeah. Oh yeah.
And I just did that, and just something about the weather, and just taking that walk, and just taking in
A
that.
natural high.
Yes, yeah, and every time I did it after a day of doing that, I feel so much better.
Mm-hmm.
And I encourage people to do that. Or if not, walk, skate. If you don't skate, walk.
Right.
You just go somewhere beautiful. Me, I like to be by water. It calms me.
Yeah.
Takes away my anxiety.
Yeah.
Um, oh, and with me, I got back into art. I started painting. I painted a canvas. I did some sketch work.
Yeah.
And it's been a while since I've done it, so it allowed me to get back into that. And art normally, help control my anxiety and depression. It just helps you get back to that. But honestly, that's how I've been maintaining.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's really beautiful, to see you still flourishing, right, in this environment. And it's largely because of you're making really healthy choices,
Yeah,
and choosing. I love that you say that. Like, it's a choice. Happiness can be a choice, you
and
know.
eating better, and
Yeah.
working out, exercising, take care of your
Yes.
body. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. What do you think keeps you so motivated? Where do you get this grit from?
Um, what motiv- what motivates me is the fact that I actually help people. You know,
Yeah.
it was times where I didn't even know I was helping. I was just being myself, and people coming back to say, "Hey, thank you."
Yeah.
That a conversation that I may have probably didn't think that was much of nothing.
Yep.
It meant a lot. It meant a great deal to that person. And
Yes.
to be able to share, like, okay, a lot of people trying to figure out how to maintain through all of this, and for me to be able to share what I do
Mm-hmm.
for my anxiety and
Mm-hmm.
depression here, and I was able to have another barber reach out to me and say, hey, because every week on my off day, I take it upon myself to go to the park on
Yeah.
a nice day and walk and be by water and all that, and just like I said, listen to music and all. And I mentioned it to a barber before, and he started to do it. And I also encouraged that barber to go to therapy, and he did that as well.
Oh,
And
that's awesome.
yeah, he did as well. And um, he told me, man, he said, man, bro, like that was like I appreciate you recommending me to go there, man. Like that session was great. And then also that for them, I told him, I said, sometimes you just got to get out the house.
Yeah.
Just get out these walls. The being behind the walls, it does something to your mind and mentally. It's
Yes.
just I said, just get out the house. Just go take a walk and just enjoy grass, enjoy trees. Uh,
Be
just
present.
enjoy nature. Yeah, I said it'll make you feel better. And he's been doing it every week. And he was like, man, thank you, man. He said, and I've been getting a workout in. He said, I feel a lot better. I don't feel trapped. And stuff like that, being able to actually know that I actually help people.
Yeah, that
It's
you
just simply,
impact them.
yeah, it just kind of had me like, wow, it makes me feel good to be able to know that I can help you.
Yeah.
And to have that feedback for me doing simply something I do for myself and be able to put that out there, let them know, like, yeah, just do that. And it helps a lot of people. Some people tell me, like, man, that conversation we had a year ago, man, I appreciate that, man. That made me who I am today. And now I've done this from this conversation. I'm like, wow, I didn't know. I just
Right.
wake up every day and I come to work, you know, and that it makes you feel good.
Absolutely. I can
Yeah,
totally relate to that on a personal level. That's you and I do the same thing, except we're, doing it in different capacities. But
right.
yes, it's the gift that keeps on giving, when you know you're helping somebody, it feels good to them and it feels good to you, like everybody wins, right?
Yeah, yeah. And why not? And besides, I want to put more positive energy.
In the world.
And so, yeah, that's what I create here in my space.
Yeah.
I mean, as you can see behind me, I have nothing but positive words.
Yeah, what's there?
And
What's behind you? What does it say?
oh man, let me see. Gotta
Stay
keep them.
true, dreams come true. I'm gonna read it. Or you can read it.
Yeah. I once said someone wrote to me that says, continue to walk your purpose. Uh, uh, feel the free. Okay, feel the fear and do it anyway. Like
I love it.
see, the thing with that, what that means to me is, we all when we transition into a whole another level,
Mm-hmm.
that fear kicks in. Like, oh man, what if I fail? What if this happen? What if that happen?
Yes.
It's saying feel it because it's a natural thing to feel, but keep pushing through. Keep pushing
Yes.
through that, man, and then it gets you. It's honestly getting you out of your comfort zone.
Absolutely.
Let me see.
So people wrote this.
Yeah, all of these are my clients.
Oh, that's so beautiful,
Yeah,
man. I love that.
I wrote a few things as well. But it's all over. A lot of these are my clients. They wrote
That-
all of this.
That's so cool. How can that not lift you up, right?
Yeah, I have it around me, and I have it on the other side as well. Um, I These are one of the things that, like, when I come to work, 'cause like I said, everybody have their days.
Yep.
We, it is what it is. We human.
Yes.
And sometimes you can just be sitting there. You may not be the best day. You just like, man, you just look up and you just read a comment and just be like, wow.
Yeah.
So, hold on, I just got to show you this comment, honestly.
Yeah. I was gonna say flip your camera or something. What does it say?
It
It
said, "It always seems impossible until it's done."
done.
Yeah,
Oh, that is so true. So
like
much wisdom in in your office.
yeah.
I love
Says
that.
so. I say, says worry about loving yourself instead of loving the idea of other people loving you.
Yes. Oh
You
man.
know, it's just so much stuff. Um, it's just so many positive stuff, man. Like
I'm
and then
digging it. It's
like
so
I said,
cool.
but this is not just for me. You know, like part of it is, but it's for those people who may not be social.
Yep.
'Cause everybody's not gonna talk,
Yeah.
but it's more so for people who comes in who may not know how to, who may not be social, but they may read something and you be like, wow,
Yeah.
I was feeling something inside you. I had no clue, but your room. Like people compliment me that said something about they read something here. It happened today when I was cutting, and one
Yeah.
of my clients he was quiet, and he was like, I love that quote.
Yes, because then it's
I need to get the
inspiring
quote.
them too, right? Like your space, your energy, your aura is also inspiring them,
Yeah,
kind of without you having to directly do or say anything. That's beautiful.
yeah,
I love that. I might
yeah. So
I might do that in my office, Eric.
you should. That'd be a great
Yeah.
idea. It'd
Yeah.
be perfect. It is perfect for your profession. That is
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah, and honestly, it could be some stuff. Like I said, I may think of something, and I'm like, you know what? I'm inspired. I got this quote. And I write it on the wall. And
Yeah.
it's like I said, I let people do whatever. I told them, I said, just gotta be positive. That's it.
PG-13.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we got kids. We got kids coming here and stuff. But yeah, it just I tell people, man, just these are words, and this is from people's minds. It's like a lot of my clients.
Oh, I know.
You
That's
know,
what I'm such a people lover, man. I swear. Like that really just makes
yeah.
me fills my heart. Like it makes me want to like cry because it's in all of us.
Hmm.
That's why I love being a therapist because it's not about us fixing people. It's not about us, giving you the answers. It's about us helping you get to your own wisdom and inner strength so that you could be you. It's not about us fixing you. It's about us helping you get to the answers. Does that make sense?
Yes, I totally understand.
Yeah.
And and that's the thing, man. So that's why, like, I tell people, like,
Wow.
it's not about just what what's on the wall. These are coming from people's minds.
And
So
people's spirit,
right, and then
their heart.
a lot of these conversations, a lot of these quotes that you see on the wall comes from they people normally write these things after a session,
Conversation. A
a
session.
conversation.
A session. I love that. You
You
call
know,
it a
just
session.
just to be, we could just sit here. Then I'm cutting their hair. They're feeling good, and then we just talking about life and just music, love,
I love
family, and there's maybe some stuff they may struggle with. They may hit me with a little bit of knowledge. I hit them with a little bit of knowledge. And we just feed off each other. Then they get inspired. They're like, you know what? I'm gonna write something on the wall. I'm like,
yeah,
have at it. Here's the marker.
yeah,
This
yeah.
is what you great. And this happens. This is most of my clients.
Barber therapy, man.
Yeah,
It's a
indeed.
thing. It's a
Yeah.
thing. Your mama must be so proud of you.
Oh yes. Oh, yeah, I love her. Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I have a son and I hope he grows up to be, like you, like totally pro
Oh,
therapy
man.
and just wanting to light people up and, all about the love. It's beautiful. So,
Thank you. I'm trying. I'm only human. I'm just like I said. I'm still just out here trying to adapt and live and just be the best I can be.
well, you're a light in your community and, in many people's lives. So thank you so much for helping us fight for mental health awareness and, for being on the show, for sharing your story. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. And this is amazing what you're doing. And we need more conversation like this,
Yeah.
so people can be comfortable and just be willing to heal and just be ready, just be the best version of them. So I
Yeah.
appreciate this. I appreciate what you're doing. This is really, really dope.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Definitely.
So, yeah. So that's probably where it's going to end, right? The recording. But man, seriously, that was so cool.
Yeah.
A conversation and
It's so
yeah.
candid, and it's just so natural, and it just, this is just, like I said, I come here, like, it's good to be back in here just to see all the stuff and just like,
Well,
I'm
I'm
ready.
not gonna lie. I've been working from home this whole time, and this is the first time I've been back this long, like doing anything kind of work related in my office since
Oh,
March.
that's the actual office?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I like that
And
painting back.
oh, thank you. Yeah. So I miss it. I was like, man, I didn't realize how much I miss being here. When you were talking and you were saying, I come in here and like it just makes you feel good automatically. That's what I miss. I'm like, I miss kind of being in my zone.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's different working from home. So
yeah.
yeah.
And it's good when it's what you love.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Even the
It's
bad days, when you're doing what you love, the bad days are still good days.
yeah. Like it's been times I come in, I have a bad day.
Yeah.
Then you meet that one client or two, and you're like, man, I feel great, and coffee, of course.
Yeah. Yeah.
Need my coffee. So
Well, we'll stay in touch. Let you know kind of what
absolutely,
steps 2, 3, and 4 are after this. But yeah, thank you so much. Enjoy your Friday. Stay safe.
I
You know,
will. You do the same as well.
stay on
How
it.
is it out there?
It's it seems to be okay, right? San Diego hasn't really been hit that hard. We've been really lucky.
That's
So
good. That's good.
yeah, yeah.
Good.
Everyone's wearing masks and not everybody is social distancing, which is kind of, frustrating, but you just do what you can. You control what you can, right? Stay away.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So it's things on my end, like in Maryland, and like they opened up a major part of Maryland, but far as where I am in PG County,
Mhm.
PG County and Montgomery County, they have not. We still kind of operating on the shutdown
Okay.
right now. We like I said, we in the first stage. I guess they gradually just letting people.
Same here. Same here.
So at the end, but like I said, no matter if they open up everything, we still running things tight in here. Like we gotta keep everybody safe.
I think it's going to be a while before we get back to the swing of things as we know it, and I don't even know if we'll ever get back to that.
I don't think we're gonna get back to that. I
Yeah,
think this made history. This changes everything.
changes everything.
And for the world, it's not an American thing. This is a world thing. For the
Oh yeah,
world to get back to like things were like 4 months ago. I'm sorry, should I say 5 months ago, 6 months ago, maybe? Like I
yeah,
don't know.
yeah,
Just gotta adapt. Just be safe.
yeah. You too. And I'm so glad your mom's doing well.
Yeah, I took her when she was done with her quarantine. I took her to the park and I let her use my
I, s-
bike.
I saw that. I think I saw
Facebook
that.
on
Yeah,
Facebook. Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that was the first time out the house after
That's
her
so
quarantine. So I told her, I said, we're gonna get out, we're gonna get your lungs going, get your body moving. And I told her, I said, look, ride my bike. I said, when the last time you been on a bike? She said, I ain't been on a bike since I was like a kid. I was like, that's
Oh
easy
my
shit.
God, are you serious?
Yeah. So I let her ride my bike, and then I was, we kept our distance, and I was just jogging, while she was riding, and me and her were just talking, with this, with some distance, and just let her do it. It was a beautiful day that day. I had to get her out,
That's impressive, man. She rode her bike and she hadn't ridden in like decades.
man. Yeah.
Well, she
So she
did
was,
good then.
yeah. She's like the last time she been on a bike. I think she said she was like 14 or something.
Wow. How old's your mom?
My mom she be 55 this year.
Wow. Wow. How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
30. I'm 34.
You're a baby.
Oh Lord.
Baby.
My birthday is next month. I'll
What's
be
that?
35.
June?
June 27th.
Okay. Is
I'll
that
be
what is that? Cancer?
son. Yes, Cancer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be 35 next month. So good.
Hey, 35 is the new 25, so you're good.
That's what they say. That's what they say.
All right, man. Well, have a good weekend
You
and
do the
we'll
same.
stay in touch.
All right, cool. Be
Take
safe,
care.
all right?
You too. Bye.
Bye.